Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a fill-in and two repairs. You can't see right now, it just look like one repair, but you'll see later. So you see me here trying to take the bling off. It's always hard, which is a good thing, but I just have to fight it a little to get it off. You're gonna see me do that on the index finger here and then on the pinky finger. I was gonna do the pinky finger first, but it was gonna be harder because they're closer together. So I was like, let me do this one first. And so I just make sure I hold the nail down because with long nails it kind of hurts. So yeah, just make sure you're doing that. You see me doing that with my thumb. So I got the bear off, had to fight it a little too, and now moving on to the pinky finger. Like I said, doing the same thing, just using the nippers to get them all off. And also, like I said, holding the nail down with your thumb, and I kind of got my other fingers up on it just to give up under it just to give it some support. Alright, so here you're going to see me getting the bling residue off with my e-file. I have it on about, probably, yeah, 10,000. And I have it in reverse, so going backwards, yeah. And, yeah, so I'm just getting the residue off with the e-file, using my finger to still hold the nail down to give it some support. Like I said, with longer nails, you don't want to hurt your client's natural nail. And then on the next finger it just had gel polish, so I'm just getting that off the same way, making sure I get around the new growth area. I'm gonna go back and get all of the old acrylic off, and then it's just gonna make sure you do that on every finger. And then you can see on every finger, I'm using my pinky to steady my hand while I'm using that e-file, because I want to make sure I can get as close as possible to get all of the product off. Alright, so with this fill-in, she's also going to be getting a color change. So once I get all of the gel polish off and file away all of the old acrylic, I'm also going to be filing down to make the acrylic thinner so that I can put a different color on top. Alright, so I got the crusty acrylic off. So I had to get a little bit more off right there. But got the crusty acrylic off, so now we're going to file the nail down. We're just going to take as much as we can off. Well, we're going to leave some clear on there, but you want to make sure you file it down, because when you put the color on top, you're going to put another clear coat on top of that. What I do, just to encapsulate my color, and I don't want to make the nails too thick. So now that we filed away all the old acrylic and filed the nails down, well, I did have to get some more off this finger. I don't know why I left that there because I saw it, but now that I've got it off on that hand, we're going to go to the next hand and we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm filing off the gel polish, and then I'm just going to go ahead and take all of that down, the acrylic as well, and then do that on every single finger just like I did on the last hand. And then just to reiterate, you can see me holding the nail down with my thumb and my index finger, and then I'm balancing my right hand that I'm working with my pinky. And y'all, I forgot I was supposed to be soaking this off the whole time. Oh my goodness, I was like, no. But anyway, so I'm taking the gel polish off, and then I'm gonna just file it down as much as I can, and then soak the cotton ball with the acetone, and then let it soak while I do the other fingers, and then come back and take the rest of it off. On this nail, I didn't take so much off as far as filing it down goes, just because it was an ombre with white and clear, and then when we change the color, or well, do the color change on all the other nails, this one was just going to be completely white. So that's why you'll see that it's still there, because it's more like a fill-in at the back and then just covering that clear part at the tip. And when I'm getting on the sides of the nails, I'm pulling the skin back with my thumb and my index finger just to make sure I'm not going to nick my client with the e-file. The bit is sharp. I don't think I'm using a tornado drill bit. So yeah, again, I'm just holding the skin back with my thumb and my index finger, or my middle finger as well. Just pinching it back, not being too rough, but making sure it's out of the way so that I can get all of the acrylic and the gel polish off. Okay, and this is what I was saying in the beginning of the video. I was saying that we were going to find out that we actually had 2 repairs to do. So she had broken this one before and came and got it fixed, and I fixed it with a nail form. And so I just went ahead and took that all the way off, and we're just going to do a brand new nail. Now that we have everything filed down, we're going to go back and take the rest of that acrylic off of that finger. Yes, for EMA, comes off so quick and easily. And then moving on, we're going to go ahead and remove the shine from the nails. And you're going to make sure you get around the cuticle area and smooth the nail back out from all the filing we did with the extra coarse drill bit. Alright, and one thing that I did see that I forgot to do when I was watching it was push the cuticles back, and which is a very important step because you need to remove that dead skin, because it will bring oil down into the nail and it'll make your nails lift. But removing the shine with the 180 sanding bit, so I do think her nails are going to be fine. But yeah, just make sure that you are pushing the cuticles back, because I did forget on this one. I don't know what I was doing, probably just talking to my client, running my mouth. All right, and then right here we're gonna go ahead and put the nail tips on, and then you just want to make sure that they fit from sidewall to sidewall. Looked like the glue was trying to fight me, didn't want to stick. So yeah, I'm holding it there just to make sure it's gonna stay. Put a little bit more, and then do the same thing on the index finger. And then I realized that these are still a little bit shorter where her nails had grown out. So I did have to go ahead and put a double tip on it. And this was actually my first time doing a double tip, so yeah, I had to do that. Then file it down to shape, and then we'll go on to put the acrylic on. Okay, so filing the nail to get the right shape, I'm just making sure that I keep the file straight on both sides, and that I'm doing it the same number of times on both sides. And then when I'm doing the tip of the nail, just making sure that I keep the file straight up and down at a 90-degree angle. And then supporting the nail, like I'm holding it down again with my thumb, and then supporting it with my index finger, because again, with long nails it can hurt if you just filing away, because it is still attached to a natural nail. And right here I'm just going to make sure they're even before I go in and blend with my 180 sanding bit. I'm using the e-file. Okay, now it's time for acrylic. So satisfying to watch. So here I'm just putting the primer on before I go ahead and place my first bead down. And I'm using Lollipop by Eclipse Nail Co. And you can use my code BIGBOSS10. Go over there and check out the acrylic. Definitely a must get. It is very much smooth. It doesn't dry too fast. It doesn't dry too slow. Like you see here, it has good coverage. I'm just picking up small beads, which is why I wasn't covering it a lot. Because like I said, I already have the clear on the bottom, and I don't want to make the nails too thick. Like I just wanted to cover them up, and then I'm gonna encapsulate it with the clear. So here I'm just making sure I don't have any clear spots. Everything is covered up, and then I'm gonna encapsulate. And then I'm gonna put one more bead up there at the cuticle, because I do see something there, and you wanna make sure that you're not leaving like that space there where it looks like they need a fill in. I usually always use a small bead at the cuticle area just to make sure that I don't flood it, and it's easier to work with a small bead and just add some more than to just put too much and then just be running everywhere. So just out of habit from learning, that's what I do. And then I just kind of work it down into the cuticle, and then make sure I wipe around the cuticle area to get all of the excess acrylic off. On this nail, we're gonna do an ombre with some heart sequins that I got from Amazon. So first you see me put down a bead of clear acrylic so I can get the nail wet and have something for the sequins to stick to. And then first I use that pink color, and I just put the nail sequins anywhere just to create my ombre look. And then when I feel like it's enough of the pink color, I'm just gonna go in at the back, add my bead of acrylic, and then add it in the second color, which I'm using that kind of greenish bluish color. I thought it was just so pretty with that purple. and then with that mint green color that we'll be using later on. So now that I have the heart sequence on, I'll just go ahead and encapsulate, and I usually start closer to the bottom with my first bead, and then I lay the next bead right on top of that after I finish just working it down and working it into the shape that it's supposed to be. And then also I am angling my nail downward just so that gravity can help do most of the work as far as getting the acrylic where it needs to be. And then you're just gonna place another bead on top of each one and just continue to blend in. As far as placing the acrylic down, sometimes I have to do a lot of beads, sometimes I only do 3 beads. It just depends on what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I don't want to place too much acrylic because then you have to use so much time later filing it off anyway. So I wouldn't say that I have a particular method. I just work from the bottom of the nail to the top, and then once I get to the cuticle area and I clean around the cuticle, I just make sure that I don't see any holes or gaps, and if I do, I fill it in like I do right here. On the middle finger, we're going to be using Princess Pink by Acrylic Nail Co. Love this pink. Like, I love a bubblegum pink, and this one is literally perfect. So yeah, we're just going to make the whole nail this color and then encapsulate it with the clear. When you see me lifting up the nail and turning it from side to side, I'm just making sure that I have the whole nail covered, and then again, like I said before, that there's no lumps and dips, and you know that the nail is even. And then now that I've completely covered it with the color, oh, I must have seen something there, but now that I've completely covered it with the color, I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate it with the clear. And this nail is going to be an ombre, and I'm using this mint green color by Acrylic Nail Co. again. It's called Minty Fresh. And so yeah, we're just going to ombre this with the already clear nail. So check the nail on all sides, make sure your apex is good, no dents, no lumps, and if it is, of course, you just add some more clear wherever you see that, and then make sure of course that I clean the cuticle area. And then I must have seen something right here as well where I needed to add some more, which is exactly what I was just saying. And I do that sometimes. I'll be doing another nail and then I'm like, oh, I see a lump whenever I turn another nail. So just go back and fix it. And then moving on to the thumbnail, we're going to be using Lollipop by Acrylic Nail Co. We're going to do an ombre with this one. Well, not an ombre, kind of like a French tip, where I'm just going to put the nail sequins at the tip of the nail in kind of like a slant, and then I'm going to encapsulate it. all finished with that hand. Moving on to the next one, we're going to put the primer on each finger. I do my clients one at a time because they always like touching something. They just, I mean, they sitting there for a while, so I understand, and it'll start sticking. Like the linen stuff will stick. So I just do one at a time. And so we're gonna do the white nail first, and I'm just filling it in at the cuticle area first, and then working my way down the nail with the acrylic, covering up the clear part, and then encapsulate. Okay, so on the next finger, we're going to be doing a solid color nail again. We're going to be using that minty color, Minty Fresh by Eclip Nail Co. And then here you just see me putting a thin layer of clear acrylic down first before I put the color on top, and we're just going to do it the same way. We're going to start at the tip of the nail with our bead, and then work our way up to the cuticle area with the clear, and then we're going to do the same thing with the color, and then we're going to encapsulate. On the middle finger, we're going to do another ombre. We're going to use the heart sequins again. So you see me putting the putting the layer of clear acrylic down so that the nail will be wet, and then I'm going to add my sequins. I'm going to start at the cuticle with my darker color, which is purple, and then I'm just going to work my way down the nail, adding the additional colors, which is going to be a pink and then a lighter pink. And then once I have all of the sequins on there, make sure I cover the whole nail. I'm going to encapsulate that with the clear acrylic. All right, now that the whole nail is covered, time to encapsulate. All right, all finished. Yes, for the ombre. All right, and then on the pinky nail, we're gonna do an ombre again, except this time we're gonna use the nail sequins and a color acrylic, which is gonna be Lollipop by Eclipse Nail Co. And I'm just doing the same thing. I put the thin layer of the clear acrylic down, and then I added the nail sequins, and then I'm gonna go right on top of the nail sequins with the purple and just blend it in like I would with any other ombre, and then I'm gonna go ahead and encapsulate at the end. And then just something to add, when I'm doing my cuticle beads, which you'll see me do next here, I'm just using my brush, the end of the bristles, to just work the acrylic into the cuticle area. And I'm just moving the finger around from side to side to help work that acrylic in as well. And to just be able to control it better. Then I seen that little dent there, so I filled it in with some more clear, and then boom, done. We're ready to move on to the next one, which is last but not least the thumb, and we're gonna be using Princess Pink by Eclipse Nail Color. Like, oh my gosh, look at that pink. But same thing again. We're gonna start at the bottom with our first bead and just work it down the nail, and we're just gonna cover it completely. This is gonna be a solid colored nail. And then encapsulate just like we did the other ones. And then right here on this cuticle bead, you can see where I'm just using the bristles of the brush to just work the acrylic into where I want it to be. And then it's a little space right there, so I just grab a little bit more acrylic, and then I'm gonna just add it right there. Like I said, it's easier to add more than to be trying to work with too much. And then I just wipe around the cuticle area and go ahead and encapsulate with the clear. Now that the acrylic is laid, time to clean up the sides of the nail. So we're gonna push the skin back on the sides and then take our file and then just file on the sides, making sure we clean up like any rugged little bumps that the acrylic might have left when you was laying the acrylic down. And then on the ends as well, you're just gonna make sure that you keep the file at the 90-degree angle so that you don't lose the shape. Also, I'm making sure that I'm holding my client's skin back with my thumb and kind of like my ring finger, just kind of pinching it back, just making sure that it's out the way so that when I'm filing it, I don't cut my client with the hand file. And still making sure that I'm getting as close to the skin as I can to get an even nail and, you know, get that shape that we're looking for. And then once we're done cleaning up the side of the nail using our hand file, we're going to come back in with the E-file, and I'm going to clean around the cuticle area using that 180 sanding bit that I was using before. Same thing, just going to make sure that I'm holding my client's skin back and getting as close to the cuticle area as possible, and making sure that there's no acrylic on top of the skin so that the nails will not be lifted once I send her out into the world. Alright, got that hand finished. Now moving on to the next hand, we're going to do the same thing. Going to push the skin back on the sides of the nails and clean up around the sides and on the tips. And then we're going to go back in with the E-file and clean around the cuticle area. index finger and not the thumb, the index finger and the middle finger, you're gonna see me just putting them up to the other hand just to make sure that they're the same length. And they actually were a little bit longer than the other finger, so I had to file them down some more. But yeah, you're gonna see me making sure they're the same length and width, and that they have no bumps and lumps and everything like that, because you want to make sure that it doesn't look like a nail repair. You just want to blend effortlessly with the other fingers. Perfect. So now that we got that done, we're gonna go ahead and with our e-file, we're gonna make sure that we're pulling the skin back around that cuticle so that we can get around that cuticle area, and then we're gonna also go across the top of the nail, just to make sure that we're smoothing it out. And then you'll see me using the hand file as well, because sometimes, I don't know, I just feel like the e-file doesn't get it, and I just have to use the hand file to get what it's like. If it's a lump or something, I have to use the e-file to get it out. I don't know. But anyway, again, just going around the cuticle area, cleaning up that, making sure that it's smooth and that the acrylic is not on the skin, and that the nail doesn't have any bumps. Now that the hard part is over, time for designs. So on this finger, we're going to do a couple 3D flowers. We're going to use that Princess Pink by Eclipse Nail Co. And then we're just going to grab the beads using a 3D brush that I have. With the 3D flowers, well, with my brush, I have to make sure that I don't like clean the monomer out of the brush, or does that make, if that makes sense? Because usually we have to tap the brush and kind of just drip some monomer out. But when you're doing the 3D flowers, I find that it's best to just dip the brush in the monomer and then straight into the acrylic, because if not, it's literally like dry before I even put it into the acrylic. So yeah, we're just gonna place our petals down and then shape them into the flower, and then we'll come back in later and put a bling as the middle part of the flower. On this ring finger, I was going to do another 3D flower, but I could not get my monomer to powder ratio right, like I was telling you about while I was doing the other nail. So I was like, I'm not even going to stress myself out with it, and I just thought of this lip design to do and to sprinkle some glitter on top of it. And boom, shimmery kisses. All right, and then on the index finger, we're gonna use these Chanel stickers. These are actually from Acrylic nail coat as well. They glow in the dark, which I will show you at the end, but this is just me just putting the stickers in place. I couldn't use my fingers for those last ones, that was too little. But yeah, this is me just putting the stickers on, putting them where I want them to be. And then moving on to the last finger, we're gonna do a full bling nail. And then I had started putting them on, and I had used some bigger bling, but I didn't really like it, so I just took those off, and we're gonna fill the nail in with the smaller ones. And then I just start by making a straight line first, and then it's easier to just use that line as a guide to fill in on the sides. The reason you see me putting a little bit of the gel resin on at a time is because it dries so fast. So sometimes I would like try to put it on all over the nail, and then I have to go back and put some more. And so basically I was just wasting product. So I just add a little bit at a time in the space I'm working with. I actually have this new gel resin that I work with, but I didn't use it on this set, but I did use it on another set, so y'all see that one coming soon. But almost finished putting all the bling on here. We just gotta fill in this little sides right here just to make sure that the whole nail is covered. We don't want to look down and see any purple, and then we're gonna go in and do our top coat on each nail. All right, now that we got all the small jewels on, we're gonna use a teddy bear charm to place on top. And my client, I don't know, she in love with these teddy bear charms, y'all. So I just had to give her one of these because we never use actually one of these. We always use the gummy bear ones, which she made me put another one on her nail. She don't play. But yeah, so we just set that one right there. And then on this index finger is where I put the gummy one. The gummy bears are, well, this gummy bear, not the other charm, is actually from Acrylic nail coat as well. I'm telling you, my girl, she got the goods. Go check it out, acrylicnailco.com, and use my code BIGBOSS10. For real, y'all gonna love these acrylics. Like, they really like that. And right here, I'm just putting some more glue on there because my charms was sliding like disrespect. And then I saw a lump in this nail, so I had to get it out before I put the top coat on it. So that's what you saw me doing there. And then I'm just cleaning up the nails with alcohol white before I put the top coat on. So y'all, I just wasn't feeling comfortable about my bear, so I decided I was gonna put a little bit of clear acrylic up under them because I do not want them to move. So that's what you see me doing there. I'm just using my 3D brush to just put little beads of acrylic under there, just to give it some extra security before I put the top coat on. Alright, so now I thought I was done, but then I was like, no, I need to use this nail charm. It's giving very much sour gummy, like, and come on now, we just need it for this set. It's like perfect. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that on there too. So I'm using a little bit of clear acrylic to secure that onto the nail. And I'm just making sure I put it all around there. And then I'm going to add some of the Mia Secret gel resin that I'm using as well. Just like I said, for extra security. And then boom, we're finished.